Hello everybody, and in this video I will be reviewing Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance that came out in 2002 and was directed by Park Chan-wook. A young deaf man, Ryu, lives with his ill sister who desperately needs a kidney transplant, but after losing his job, he becomes desperate to find money for his sister's surgery. And then his girlfriend suggests to kidnap his former boss Park's daughter to get some money, but when a lot of unexpected things occur and things go sideways, both Park and Ryu embark on their own revenge path. So I finally arrived at Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance after reviewing Oldboy and Lady Vengeance previously. By the way, links for those videos will be in the bio of this video if you want to check those reviews out. But yeah, I reviewed these movies completely backwards, but hey, who cares? We're finally here at the very first movie in the Vengeance trilogy of Park Chan-wook. As the rest of the films from the Vengeance trilogy, Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance is yet another tragic story of a tragic man who has had a lot of trouble in his life. All the protagonists from the Vengeance trilogy are not evil, but they are all flawed human beings, and Ryu is not an exception. He does hesitate a lot before agreeing to kidnapping his former boss's daughter, and he even treats her kindly. When he kidnaps her, he treats her very nice, but still, he kidnaps her. He does this thing, and when you go into this path, there is no going back. Trouble will always follow you. And in fact, the meaning of the Revenge trilogy is that revenge is never the answer. That despite the fact that you think it will give you relief, or you're just driven by your anger and you need to satisfy it, it will never give you anything, because whether you've been hurt or someone close to you has been hurt, it's already happened and it's in the past. You can never go back. Revenge will not make that burden disappear. It will only lead to more pain. The first half of the movie focuses on the character of Ryu, a young man who just got fired from his job and now desperately needs money for his sister's kidney transplant, and that's when his girlfriend, played by Doona Bae, suggests that they should kidnap his former boss's daughter, an idea that he really doesn't like. Despite the fact that he ends up agreeing to kidnap his former boss's daughter, he does treat her kindly and nicely. I'm not trying to excuse him. Kidnapping is kidnapping and it's horrible, but you feel kind of sympathetic towards him anyways, which makes it all the more painful to watch his tragic story unfold. Ryu is played by Shin Ha-kyun, who gives a brilliant performance in this film. Ryu's character is a deaf-mute guy, so he doesn't deliver any lines in this movie, so the performance completely relies on his facial expressions and his eyes, and he did an incredible job. The second half of the movie focuses on Ryu's former boss, Park, and his path of revenge. Park is played by Kang-ho, who gives a great performance, and me saying that is nothing surprising at all because Kang-ho is an incredible actor and everyone knows that. His character was a very interesting and a complex one. President Park is a president of this company. He's a wealthy man who lives a nice life, and he is oblivious to others' problems. He underpays his employees, and there's even one scene in the movie where one of his employees come begging him for some money because his family is starving, but he denies it. But once his own daughter gets kidnapped, he starts to open his eyes a little bit, seeing that side of pain. And when he's asked, he says that, "I thought that I lived an honest life." And to which he gets replied that everyone says that. And it's not just presidents of companies or wealthiest of people, no. Some of us are privileged enough to have certain things that other people just dream of. And we shouldn't be oblivious towards those people's problems because we've never been in their shoes. And that's what President Park's character learns in this movie. A difference from the rest of the Vengeance trilogy is that Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance doesn't have a soundtrack. Yes, it's kind of surprising because I absolutely love Lady Vengeance and Oldboy soundtracks. They're brilliant and I listen to them quite often. But yeah, this movie has no soundtrack, but it does fit the tone of the film. The only time they use music in the movie is in the very beginning of the film, the opening scene. But what's not different from the rest of the Revenge trilogy is the great cinematography in this movie. It's not done by Chung Eun-chung, it's done by Kim Byung-il, and he did a great job in this movie. Once again, Park Chan-wook is a director who definitely knows what kind of a look he wants from each one of his films because there's always a clear, distinct artistic vision, and Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance is no exception. What makes Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance a little weaker thriller than Lady Vengeance and Oldboy, in my opinion, is that in Oldboy and Lady Vengeance, you know the path of the character, but you don't know where it's going to end up. You don't know the ending and the conclusion. But in Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance, I knew the path and I kind of knew what's gonna happen. I knew the destination as well, which took that suspense a little bit. Again, it's not a tremendous problem or anything. I still really enjoyed the movie, but it does take that level of suspense and lowers it a little bit. Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance came out in 2002 and got mixed reviews. Some people really don't like this movie, but despite this fact, it still won multiple awards in Korea. And once asked whether he likes Oldboy or Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance more, Park Chan-wook said that he has a soft spot for Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance since it was unsuccessful.
비슷한데요. 복수는 것이 흥행이 실패했기 때문에 더 애착은 가요. 하도 사람들이 싫어하니까 그 영화를, 그래서 좀 측은한 마음이 들어서 더 애착이 있죠. 근데 흥행이 반대였다면 또 올드보이가 더 좋았을 수도 있겠죠.
Overall, Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance was a great start to the amazing revenge trilogy by Park Chan-wook. With a tragic story and complex and interesting characters, I'm gonna give Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance a 9 out of 10. So that is it for this video, guys. I finally covered all the movies from the Revenge trilogy, and I had so much fun doing so. But now I want to know your opinion. What do you think about Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance? And what do you think about all the movies from the Revenge trilogy? How do you rank them? I'm curious about your opinion, so let me know in the comments below. And also, I will have links in the bio of this video for, first of all, my playlist of all the Korean movie reviews I've done so far, and separately a playlist of all the Park Chan-wook reviews I've done so far, including the Vengeance trilogy. Also, I will have links for both of my social medias, Twitter and Instagram, so check them out if you want to. And guys, as always, if you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you didn't, leave a dislike. And if you don't want to miss my other movie and TV show related videos, subscribe to this channel. Bye.